thanks for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support that you guys have shown me online and in person in class or in the hallway or wherever you've seen me. Send me messages on Instagram and different places. But I really appreciate you coming out and supporting this book. And I had a dream in May of 2015. And I woke up from it and I went, oh my gosh, that would be like an awesome ending to a book. So I grabbed my phone because it was the closest thing to me, and I opened up my notes app and I started writing the dream because it was man, that would be a really good ending. And now 2 years later, it's actually a book now, which is really weird, but cool at the same time. And it's completely different than the dream that I had. So I think eventually, the premise and the twist of the book is the same, but the character is completely different, and then his enemy is completely different, and everything. So maybe one day I'll just write that out as a blog post, as a fun, hey, this is what the dream originally was. So now you can compare it to what the book became. Yeah, it was just really cool to do that. So. About a year ago, I found an online writing group just randomly on Facebook, and I decided to join it. I've just always really liked writing. I don't know if this you can count as my first book, because in middle school I wrote a book, but it's very middle schooly, really middle schooly. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I hang out with middle schoolers all day long, and I basically am one. But I thought about going back and just editing that one. Maybe I'll do that down the road, because that'll just be really hard. But I did write a book and finish it, and then I started part of a book, and then I just kind of stopped writing, and then college happened, and then I was I never want to write again, because I wrote so many papers for college that I was just done. So yeah, once I joined this writing group, I thought about that dream that I had and thought, oh, that would be a cool book. So I started to get involved in the prompts and stuff on Facebook that they had. And then the woman who leads it, her name's Debbie Burns, and she encouraged me to be part of her writing group. That's a paid writing group where you go on this expedition through how to write your novel and how to set up your characters and all that kind of thing. And so I talked to Garrett about it, and it was, as teachers, both of us, we don't make a ton of money. And so it was hey, this is kind of an investment in the future. Can we do it? And he didn't even hesitate. He was just do it. So signed up, got involved. 6 months later, I had the book written. So I had the whole first draft written in 6 months, which is kind of unheard of. And then it took me a little bit to edit, and then now it's in print, which is crazy. And I apologize that I don't have print copies for you guys tonight. That was my whole plan, was to be set up at this table and to sign copies and laugh and joke with you guys. No. The one I have says proof in the back, so I apologize for that. I went online. I technically published the book on Friday. So last week I technically published it because I needed to make sure all my author stuff was set up and everything was ready to go for you guys. And I went in to buy them, and then the shipping date said October, and I went, oh, oops, I did not plan this well. So I even cut down the bulk number to 5 just to see what would happen, and it still was October. So I was oh, how can I solve this problem? So as you can see, if you're on my Facebook event group, you can see that I tried to solve that with the PayPal, and and then tonight, just taking your money, and then I'll get you a signed copy. And since all of you guys are local, it'll be easy to just get you a copy. But I apologize for that. I'm so sorry you're not going to be able to hold it in your hands yet. But you can come look at it tonight and check it out. Just disregard this big proof in the back. But everything else is the same, and it's pretty awesome, and I'm excited about it. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy to work on, and I really love it, and I just want to be an inspiration for my students, because I'm a teacher, and I think sometimes they think that once they pick something, that's all they have to do, and that's all they ever get to do. But out of all of the people, there's a statistic out there that's all of the people who say that they would love to write a book one day, less than 1% of people do that. So less than 1% of the people who say they want to write a book ever do. And so it's I wanted to be part of that statistic of the 1% who do, and then show them hey, I wrote a book and I'm a teacher. So if you want to be a chef and be in the military, or whatever it is you want to do, you can do that as long as you work hard, because this was hard. No joke. Every bodily fluid went into this thing. It was so difficult. Blood, sweat, tears, whatever else golly, it was hard. But I want to do it all again, so yeah. So this is Turn. It's a book about a kid named Damon. He wakes up in this abandoned house and he can't remember his life, has no memories of his life. And then a year later, the police find a girl in the same house who also doesn't have her memories. And so they sort of, Damon's like, oh, we should work together and see what happened to us. And so that's sort of the journey of the book, is for them to figure out what happened to them and maybe who abducted them, if somebody abducted them and put them in that house or something like that. So I'm going to read you guys just the first section of the first chapter, because I feel like that's probably a good place to start, is the beginning, because I feel like anything else might give away stuff. I don't know. So yeah, let me read this to you. It says, Monday, September 5th, 2016. Something is wrong. My feet and legs feel like lead, glued to the floor. The sound of my pounding heart echoes through my ribcage. I'm convinced it's audible. My chest grows tight with anxiety. My vision was blinded with light, but now darkness consumes the space around me. My eyes struggle to adjust. Blinking doesn't seem to help, so I stare into the void, waiting for relief. After an agonizing amount of time passes, I begin to see orange beams escape from the slits of a window on the far wall. The rays of light are active with dust. The light is uneven and shines through one side of the set of windows. Its source is far and gives little visibility to my surroundings. It flickers like moths around a street lamp. With the slight visibility I've gained, I take a deep breath. A moldy smell invades my nostrils and makes my stomach sour. The ache of my empty abdomen causes my eyes to squeeze with pain. It feels like I haven't eaten in years. Where am I? How did I get here? I try to think back to the last place I was when it dawns on me, I don't even know who I am. I can't remember anything. I should try to run, find help, but my breathing is shallow, my heart is racing, and I'm lightheaded. Fear consumes me, but I decide not to let it defeat me. As I continue through the stages of my panic attack, I look down to assess. With what little visibility I have, I can see that my hands and feet are not bound, but free. No cuts, bruises, or signs of a struggle. I try to take a few steps, but fear has rendered my legs frozen. If I make noise, someone might hear me, though I'm not sure who that someone would be. I look toward the far side of the room and can see couches covered in sheets. I'm in a large space, maybe a living room. About an inch of dust blankets the end tables and coffee table. Unfortunately, the portion of the room in front of me remains dark, despite the light illumination of the furniture. Whoever brought me here did so on purpose. Why else put me in a place so obviously abandoned? But why not tie me up? Why not be here when I woke up? Fear shoots down my spine, causing a wave of prickling across my back of my neck. My breath quickens and my palms grow sweaty. Despite the stench, I breathe deep and exhale slow to grasp rationality. I take off my glasses and wipe my eyes, hoping when my vision adjusts that I'll remember my life or be somewhere warm and familiar. Instead, this bleak place comes back into view, and anger replaces my fear. What happened to make me forget everything? I may not know who I am, but I know I'm not a coward. My sudden boldness lightens my steps. I move forward at normal speed, my right hand flat on the wall as I bounce. As my steps grow confident, my shin sends an object shattering to the floor. My breath catches in my throat and my body halts. From the weight and size, I'd say it was a vase, but in the dark, I can't be sure. I try to recover from the jolt of the container, but my heart races in my chest. Stepping over the wreckage, I continue toward what could be a door, but my hand slams into something on the wall and shatters. A shattering sound follows. Seriously? The word shoots out of my mouth and my hands smack tighter on my lips and chin. I shut my eyes tight, waiting for them to come. After what seems like an eternity, I realize no one is coming. I crack my knuckles and shake out my hands. I'm ready to get out of here. Just as I'm about to keep moving, something catches my eye. A strange glow radiates out of the periphery of my left eye. I turn my head to see what it is. Wham! The door in front of me flings open, and a cool breeze and blinding light flood into the dusty room. A shadow of a person enters and screams, "Get on your knees and put your hands where I can see them." Before I can process what's happening, I'm slammed to the floor. Now I'm going to end here. So you'll have to read to find out what happens next. Yeah, Yeah. You can buy it on Amazon too. I have Amazon on print, like paperback, and ebook. So you can get a Kindle edition for $2.99 and then the regular edition for $10.99. So if you have Prime, you could always get it in like 2 days and then read it then, or you can just wait for my copy to come in and sign it, whatever. But yeah. Is there any questions that you guys have for me about the book or about writing or about any of that?
You said you wanted to write another book. Will it be a continuation of this, or you think
No.
something different?
Yeah, good question. This book is just a standalone. I wanted my first one just to be a standalone because I felt like the thought of doing like a trilogy like freaked me out a little bit, or like, I mean, and I'm in this writing group. There's a girl in my writing group, her name's Kendra, and she already has like 12 books planned. So like I was in this group full of women who like have a bunch of books planned, and I was freaked out, and I was like, I would rather just get like one and call that awesome. And so no, this is just a one-off, but the next one I have planned actually probably will be a trilogy. So yeah, I'm not as overwhelmed now that I've done it. Like now that I've been through the process, I'm like, oh, I could do that. I mean, it might be more, it'll probably just be the same. It'll probably be really hard and overwhelming again, but I think it'll be worth it to do that. So yeah, good question. Thank you.
When you worked with your group, did you work like in person or did you work?
No, it was all online. Yeah, the writing group was all online, and so you had different courses that you could watch videos for. And then she had different challenges and stuff for us to do, like while we went. And then we had like an office hours where we would have like a Zoom meeting where all of us would be on video together. And if we had questions about like character development or how to do a plot twist or like what kind of, you know, order to put things in, we could ask questions and stuff. And then like we were part of a Facebook group, so we could put comments in or like, hey guys, I need help with this, and then everybody could comment on it. And it was really cool. I'm still in that group, and so it's a really cool community, and to be able to like be friends with other writers, and some of them are published and some aren't, and it's really neat to like see everybody in the spot that they're in, and everybody's helping each other. And yeah, I've seen some other writing groups that are more petty and, you know, maybe steal your ideas or, you know, don't help you, but this one was really cool. So yeah, question. Any other questions? Yes.
Have you participated in National Novel Writing Month?
No, I've never done National Writing Month. I want to. I'm really daunted by it. Like, NaNoWriMo is in the month of November, I believe. Yeah, and you write like 80,000 words in like a month or 50,000 or however many it is. I think it would be really cool if I could do it if I wasn't a teacher. So like, I think if I wasn't a teacher, I could probably do NaNoWriMo. Although I just wrote in my blog post the other day about how self-motivation is probably one of the hardest things to do, even if I wasn't a teacher. Like being at home on a Saturday, obviously I want to lay around and watch TV. So you have to like make yourself get in front of the computer, and even if you don't write anything, at least you're like, well, I got in front of the computer today, that's better than nothing. And then I got a couple sentences down, that's better than nothing. But yeah, I've never done it. I've wanted to. I might try it in the future. I know they do like a NaNoWriMo camp in like March or in the summer or something like that where you can like kind of warm up for it. But no, I've never done it. Have you ever done it?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seems really daunting. Like all the people who are part of it, because in my other writing group, there's like hundreds of women in that group, and they're always writing about like how pumped they are, and they're like stoked about all of it. And I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to get my kids to take this test on like religion. You know, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get my kids to pass this test coming up. So yeah, and it's hard because during the school year, I'm mostly like a night and weekend writer. And so sometimes it doesn't even happen during the night. It just happens on the weekend. So yeah. But summertime is where I got most of my editing done and stuff. So if I can get another like draft written during the school year, I know I can probably get it out by next year. So yeah, no, I've never done NaNoWriMo. It seems so hard. Oh, yeah. And I don't want to like set myself up to fail either. I'm not good at that. Any other questions or curiosities? I'm not going to tell you how it ends. That's for you to find out. Yeah, you gotta wait. Unless you're a beta reader, you already know what happened, but otherwise.
Did you already read it, Sam?
Yeah, Sam already read it, Gabby already read it, and I had a couple other teens that were my beta readers because I wanted to make sure like people in my audience actually like read it. I'm like people like me who are are adults but like to read like young adult. I had already had a couple of like adults read it, and so I knew that they would like it, but I wanted to make sure like their age understood it and liked it. And, yeah. So, any other thoughts, questions? I think my next book is going to be a young adult. I think it's going to be dystopian. So yeah, like a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of suspense. For some reason, I really did think when I first was writing that I was going to be a fantasy writer, like Harry Potter. I was like, I'm going to be Lord of the Rings, I'm going to be J.K. Rowling. And then I actually like got around to thinking of ideas and stuff, and like I got around other fantasy writers, and I was like, I am not a fantasy writer. I like to have things like in the real world and like things that are tangible to me and that I understand. Like I struggle with world building a little bit, I think, but I think if I practice at it, I might be all right at it. But like there's this one woman in my group, her name's Dot, and she does world building like nobody's business. So yeah, it's incredible. I am not a fantasy writer, I don't think. I mean, I think it would be cool to try it out, but no, that's not really my cup of tea. I guess I like mysteries and suspense and stuff. What's up, Emma?
What's the meaning of the name of the book?
The meaning of the name has multiple meanings. So you actually have to read it. I know. That's the worst part. Yeah. It has multiple meanings. So, and there's a clock on the front, so that might give you an idea too. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. That would give away
It was
everything.
a really good question, though.
That was a great question. Oh my goodness. I also wanted to let you guys know too that I'm going to be published again in November. There's an anthology coming out. It's called Winter Whimsy, and it's a bunch of short stories. And I wrote a short story about a girl named Violetta, and she. It's actually based on the meteor that we had come through last year. You remember when we had that meteor that came through in January, and it had like a mini earthquake, and like all the kids were freaking out the next day about it, and they're like, did you hear the meteor? Well, I wrote a story about what it would be like to be a middle schooler going through all of that, and you just kind of don't want to be part of that, and some paranormal stuff happens, so you'll have to read that one too. But yeah, that'll come out in November, so I'll be pushing that out to Facebook and to Instagram and all that kind of stuff too, so yeah. I'm excited about it, so. Cool. Any other questions before we go to some food? So I'm all about some food. Love it. All right, cool. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. There's cake and cookies and lemonade and water if you want some of that. And then if you guys want to mingle and hang and come talk to me, you can do that. Hugs and all that. All right. Thank you.